Hello everybody, you're all welcome to today's Company Secretary training, which is dubbed Understanding the Role of the Company Secretary under the new Companies Act in COVID-19 environment. Today's workshop is going to take an in-depth analysis of who the Company Secretary is. The Company Secretary has existed under the old Companies Act, and the Company Secretary has existed under the new Companies Act. We'll also be looking at some technical aspects such as the tax requirements to be fulfilled by a company secretary, the legal audits that a company secretary must help in preparing of every company. We also look at issues of incorporation of a company, the role that the secretary must play in all these aspects. Ladies and gentlemen, to help us take the first session, which is the secretary then and the secretary now, is Madame Tutua Datsun.
At the end of the meeting, then I'll list all the decisions that require management action or what in further action in a document and circulate it to the board members and management. It helps to track your matters arising at the next meeting. Because at the next meeting, likely if your minutes, your notice agenda would say matters arising from previous meeting. And the matters arising is the matters that were outstanding or required some action from the previous meeting. So when you list the decisions, that will help you to list your matters arising at the next meeting and track the feedback from management. So that
basically, to register a company, you have to know what name are you going to use to register the company. Right now, you can reserve a name. The registry has made provision for you to be able to reserve a name while you are considering what you are going to do. But generally, you do a search to find out, is that name available for you to be able to register? It's very sad when you've been using a particular, because the registration of a company is not overnight. You do a little bit of background work. So you've done your advertisements, your slogans, and so on. You have a name, then you go and you register. You can't even use the name. So as a company secretary, it's always advisable to do that search. And now you have the ability to reserve that name, because sometimes what happens is that if you do the search and you delay in registering the company, somebody else can use the name. So it's always advisable to reserve your name, the company name.
When you go further, now it's no more called ordinary shares. We have what we call what? Equity shares. So what you used to write, ordinary shares, is now what? Equity shares under the new. Then we'll go down. These are the subscribers if they are individuals. Then we have the corporate ones. The same rule applies if it's a corporate, and then with a seal 1. And then if it's a without seal, 2 directors and then a secretary. Then we go down to if there's a portion trustee. Let's say you want to hold the shares in trust of your son or daughter who is less than the 18 years provided, then you can do that for them. Thank God we are able to put in. You always fight with that for those ones. So thank God we are able to put in here. So these are all the main things.
So be mindful, okay? There have been instances where cases turn up in court because they are directed to go to arbitration. The arguments are that we don't have money to go to certain places because you have probably chosen certain countries to be the place where the arbitration be held. When in fact you know that you don't have the kind of money to do it. So when you are settling for the mode of ADR, you need to be very careful. Okay? So think about your pockets, the finances. As a board secretary, let me come back, that is why we are here. We are learning about company secretary. Why do you need to know this? You need to know this because on a day-to-day basis, your finance manager may be working with some laws which may not be applicable. Take note that once our budget is prepared, sent to Parliament, there will be changes in our tax laws. Take it or leave it, standard.
I heard about the corporate secretary training through my director. At the training, I honestly thought that we could have done maybe 2 days because it was very interesting. I learned a lot. I mean, for the main thing, I think that it was the fact that I have to make the Companies Act my second Bible. I didn't know that in the beginning. And also one vital thing that I learned was the fact that if you gave short notice to a meeting, you had to let the board members, or at the meeting, you have to let them waive short notice and it has to appear in the minutes. That's not something that we previously did.
Education and training that you give us, these things have come to reawaken our understanding and deepened it even the more as to some of these aspects of company law. And I will recommend it to each and everyone who has the ambition of one day becoming